Report of any disturbance, no arrest. Again, it's not clear when the court justices, all of them Democrats, by the way, will issue a ruling. Most observers do expect it could very well come tomorrow. And to use a Dan Rather-style quote, this presidential fight is making Wall Street investors as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Yeah, the uncertainty with the presidential race and interest rates and bad earnings, all of that combining for bad news for the Dow. It plunged 167 points today, closing 10,462. The NASDAQ falling more than 150, closing below the 3,000 mark again, 2875.
And more fallout from the presidential election. An Illinois legislator wants to change the way the state's electoral college votes are determined. Republican State Representative Bill Mitchell wants the votes assigned by congressional district, so whichever candidate wins a particular district wins that district's electoral college vote. Supporters of this method believe that it keeps a single region, for example, the Chicago area, from deciding the election. We will certainly keep you posted. In other news tonight, a search is underway for a suspected murderer who may be on the loose with his young son in tow.
Police believe the Lee man could be armed and dangerous. John Mills reports investigators believe he killed a cab driver when the driver tried to break up a fight.
The fugitive suspected of killing a St. Louis County cab driver is now charged with 2 felonies.
The charges are assault first and armed criminal action. It's a serious assault with a weapon.
Captain Ed Nestor of the Major K Squad says 35-year-old John Paul Gibson, known to friends as JP, shared custody of his 5-year-old son Jesse with his ex-wife Suzanne and was supposed to return the child Sunday evening. So they met in this parking lot at 270 in Gravois, where police say Gibson started beating Suzanne in front of their son and then killed the cab driver.
He's not charged with murder, but he certainly is a suspect in the murder. We can specifically say that.
Police say the cab driver had nothing to do with the child custody fight, was just sitting in this parking lot waiting to pick up a passenger. When police say he saw J.P. Gibson beating his ex-wife, tried to stop him, and was shot.
Yeah, he fled the scene in the truck with the trailer attached, if that's what you're asking.
And the child? Do you know where the child is?
We believe that the child is with him, but we're not certain.
The cab driver, 43-year-old Rodney Venice of Old Highway 141 in Fenton, died at the scene. Police say Gibson, possibly armed with a high-caliber handgun, could be headed for Indiana or Texas in a white pickup truck, possibly pulling a white trailer.
We've tried to pass the information on nationwide as much as we could, but this assures that any officer that would run the license plates anywhere in the country would have this information.
After the shooting, the suspect's ex-wife, Suzanne Gibson, was able to drive herself to the hospital, even though she had a fractured skull. She is still in the hospital tonight, listed in satisfactory condition. Her condition has improved since the crime happened. The suspect, meantime, is still on the loose tonight. Miriam, Larry, back to you.
All right, John, we have that license plate. We'll display it for the public a little bit later in this newscast, so maybe they can also help. Several Florissant families are staying in emergency housing tonight after a fire damages several apartments. And it appears their misfortune is the result of a little boy's game. It happened late this afternoon near 270 in Lindbergh. News 4's Matt Cesney is live in Florissant with the story.
Well, Miriam, Larry, this apartment building behind me in Florissant is all dark now, boarded up. The damage from this fire displacing at least 4 families from their homes on this cold night. This is the scene after firefighters had put out the flames. The Red Cross and work crews were clearing out the building, boarding it up, and helping the families who were chased from their homes tonight by this fire. Police say the flames started at just before 6 o'clock tonight and started with a 6-year-old boy in a first-floor apartment. Police saying it started in a bedroom, and within minutes, the flames had overcome the 2-story building.
Had a 6-year-old boy playing with a cigarette lighter underneath the bed, caught the bottom of the mattress on fire. As the fire spread, he tried to put it out with some water. That didn't work. It continued to try to put it out. One of his stuffed animals caught on fire. Also, he threw that into a pile of clothes, and then the fire spread.
It started in his bedroom, and he came and got me and told me, you know, Mom, the bed's on fire. So I just immediately got them in the hallway, you know, make sure they're okay.
Was it difficult?
No, they're pretty cooperative for children. So I'm just glad they're out and they're okay.
Well, that woman and her 2 children did manage to escape the building safely. 2 other people in an upstairs apartment had to be rescued by firefighters. After firefighters arrived, they were treated for smoke inhalation. The other 2 apartments were not occupied. No one was home at the time of the fire. Police say they indeed were lucky with this one tonight, and this incident does demonstrate the need, the importance for parents to keep lighters and matches away from young children. Miriam, Larry.
Thanks, Matt. Matt Cesney reporting live from Florissant.
A controversy over high school restrooms in Breeze, Illinois is over, at least for now. Breeze is about 45 miles east of St. Louis in Clinton County. Last month, the school board voting to remove most of the doors from the bathroom stalls in the boys and girls rooms at Central Community High. It was an effort to prevent students from secretly smoking in the bathrooms. Students protested. Parents gathered signatures on petitions saying this violated the children's privacy. Well, tonight, the school board voted 4-2 to put the doors back up.
I think, yes, we all agree smoking is a problem, but we think that our kids deserve to go to the restroom in private without everyone seeing them.
I'm glad that the doors were put back on. I know my daughter will be very happy. I just hope that they solve the smoking problem.
This is not the first time the stall doors have been removed in Breeze. 2 years ago, they were removed from the boys' rooms, but not the girls' restrooms. Parents claim that that was discrimination, so those doors went back up after 2 months.
Well, it is nearly the season to shop, and area malls are doing what they can to make you feel safe in their stores. St. Clair Square in Fairview Heights just installed a $250,000 security camera system. The closed-circuit television system includes 34 camera and color monitors. Officers can zoom in to see license plate numbers in the parking lot or scan the crowds for suspected shoplifters. They believe customers will feel safer, plus there are other benefits.
Especially with the Christmas season, it's going to help us with lost children, trying to locate lost children. People, they get separated from their moms and dads, and so it'll help us try to locate them, especially with the color monitors. If they give us a good description of what they're wearing, it'll help us pick them out on the scans of the cameras.
Only a few malls in the area offer a camera system, but many plan to increase their number of security officers during the holiday shopping season.
All right, once again, we do have that license plate on a suspected killer on the run with his young son. The shooting death of a cab driver who tried to break up a fight. It's identified as a white 1999 Ford F-350 pickup with a white camper shell, also pulling a trailer. But the license plate on the Ford pickup is a Missouri plate 620GY9. 620GY9. If you see this plate, notify the authorities. American Airlines is investigating a fatal accident. A plane taking off from Miami International Airport had to return for an emergency landing because of a pressurization problem. Once on the ground, a flight attendant opened a door before the cabin was depressurized, and that threw the attendant onto the tarmac, and the attendant was killed. Passengers used the emergency chutes to get off the plane.
Don't call me a fag.
Tempers flaring in Maine. A coalition of churches condemning another church for protesting against gay rights. The anti-gay protest was organized by the Westboro Baptist Church of Topeka, Kansas, which has protested against gay rights elsewhere around the nation. The Westboro Baptist was demonstrating, I should say, against Portland churches for supporting gay rights legislation during the November election. That legislation failed.
In world news, Israel tonight launched waves of rockets against Palestinian targets in retaliation for a bomb attack on a school bus filled with children. That attack left 2 teachers dead and 9 children injured. It happened as an armored bus was taking students and teachers from an isolated Jewish settlement in the Gaza Strip to their elementary school. 3 radical Palestinian groups have claimed responsibility for that bombing. A French court is ordering American internet site Yahoo to block web users in France from an auction site with Nazi memorabilia. Yahoo says it will ignore that order unless a U.S. court enforces it. The judge is giving the company 3 months to figure out how to prevent French users from accessing that site. He says he will fine Yahoo $13,000 every day it does not comply. Archaeologists are exploring a new discovery in Egypt, a 4,000-year-old tomb. The burial chamber is about 65 feet below ground in the famous Giza Plateau. It's not clear whose tomb this is, but researchers are hoping that it could yield new clues about the collapse of the pharaohs who built the pyramids.
If you're having trouble getting your flu shot, there might be a backup plan. The FDA reports a daily dose of Tamiflu might actually help prevent the flu. The daily dose would be 1 pill a day. Tamiflu must be prescribed by a doctor. The FDA stresses you should still try to get the flu shot, but if you can't, talk to your doctor about the Tamiflu option.
Police across the country will be trying to keep the roads safe this Thanksgiving week, and some of them will be taking a zero-tolerance policy against drunk drivers and adults who allow children to ride without wearing a seatbelt. It's all part of an operation spearheaded by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Operation America Buckles Up Children mobilization is underway. Matt says it's all part of an effort to stop the leading cause of death among children, traffic accidents.
We are taking proactive steps to maintain the safety and sanctity of this nation's greatest asset, our children and our families. And the best insurance for their protection is prevention.
In Minnesota, police are now using flashlight-like devices to keep drunk drivers off the road. The instrument can detect alcohol on a driver's breath. Police also plan to use it at sporting events, school functions, and parties. But some civil liberties groups are protesting, saying the device may constitute unreasonable search and seizure. Closer to home, News 4 finds drunk driving deaths carry little punishment in the St. Louis County court system.
In fact, some critics say getting away with manslaughter is easy if you live in St. Louis County. Jamie Allman investigates why in our special Allman Report investigation.
So no, it's not ever going to be over because I think he's still coming home.
You know, it has changed my family forever.
This is a tale of two families, two victims, two drunk drivers, and one court system, a system being attacked for letting killers off the hook.
The criminal justice system can't solve people's problems, but what we can do is try to protect other people from becoming victims.
Becky Schaffer is an assistant prosecutor in St. Charles County, a municipal prosecutor on the side in Overland.
The system lacks.
Schaffer says the disparity in sentencing between St. Charles County and St. Louis County is eye-opening. In a News 4 review of the last 10 high-profile cases in both counties, the average sentence for killing someone in a drunk driving crash was 6 years in St. Charles County, 14 months in St. Louis County.
Making people accountable for their actions isn't their #1 priority. It appears that their priority is treatment, treatment, treatment.
I'm not the same. I'm not Tammy anymore.
Tammy Frazier still leaves her husband Dean's glass in the freezer, even though he'll never come home to a cold glass of milk again. Dean, also a father of 2 girls, was driving his truck home from work one summer night in August of 1998. Behind him was Carrie Robinette, speeding, weaving, drunk behind the wheel. She ran into Dean, his pickup flipped, and he was dead. Robinette was charged with involuntary manslaughter, maximum sentence 7 years.
She's over there tapping her foot while my children are crying to that judge, pleading to give her the maximum.
Her sentence, 120 days and probation.
I just cannot believe he could do that.
What Tammy Frazier didn't know was that a deal had already been made between the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office and Judge Emmett O'Brien. It was a deal to give Robinette a break in exchange for a guilty plea. That same year, another drunk driver convicted of manslaughter was also given a break. John Jaggard was driving a car that killed a friend, Pattonville football star Greg Smith. Jaggard faced 7 years in prison. Total sentence, 22 days in jail and probation.
And I just found that terribly heartbreaking to realize that the court said my son's life had no value.
Schaffer and some police officers have complained to the Board of Governors of local police chiefs, which includes Florissant Police Chief Bob Lauer.
We realize that this is an imperfect system. It is an imperfect system of government, but it's and we have to work within it. We get very disgusted with it on occasion.
Take the Smith and Frazier cases. Both victims were dead, but both drivers, after they were given a break, continued to drink. Jaggard was arrested last summer, drunk and driving 90 miles an hour. Robinette was caught drinking multiple times. Both had their probation revoked. Both finally had to be sent to prison.
They didn't know him. And truthfully, they didn't need to know him. They should have just done the justice that should have been done.
Now, tomorrow night, we take on the judges who say it's better to give some folks a second chance. Would you believe 1 second chance for a drunk driving suspect included work release at a local bar? And we're going to tell you a little secret about why St. Louis County judges may think they really don't need to listen to you or listen to victims. That's tomorrow night on News 4 at 10. Now, if you want to take a closer look at the story, log on to our website at KMOV.com. We talked to some of the judges, put a judge on the hot seat tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow night right here. Okay. Thanks, Jamie.
If you'd like to help the less fortunate this holiday season, Channel 4 is proud to offer you a chance to help. Once again, we're joining several local organizations to help collect food and toys. Donations can be made at several local holiday light displays and elsewhere. For more on how you can help, you can call 314-231-1515 or click onto our website at KMOV.com.
Very easy to contribute, and you'll feel much better for it.
And we're going to kick things off with a live weathercast, hopefully Friday evening from the big one in Eureka, Santa's Magical Kingdom. Yeah, so that's going to be fun to kind of post-Thanksgiving and get into the holiday spirit. Well, I tell you, it feels like the holidays out there right now. It is cold. We are looking at the coldest night of the season so far tonight. With a frosty start in the morning, that temperature will be in the upper teens. With wind chills down in the negative numbers to single digits, we probably won't have the 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. They'll settle down, but it's still very blustery here this evening. And as you'll see on forewarned Doppler radar, it's quiet right now. There's nothing showing up, although we did have a couple of very light flurries possible swing through the area a little bit earlier, but nothing to get too excited about yet. This is something to get pretty excited about. Football at the Dome tonight, a cold night and a great night to be inside watching football. 24 degrees right now with a northwest wind at 20 miles per hour. We've had some gusts up to 29, so the wind chill factor is 4 degrees below zero. 43% our relative humidity, and the barometer through the roof right now at 30.43 inches of mercury. 35 the high today. 24 is now our low. This 25 was the low this morning. No snowfall of any measurable variety showing up today. Well, and oh, by the way, Saturday we forecast a high of 40 degrees, and we hit 43, so we get to give away 2 count-on-Kent umbrellas tonight to Catherine Purnell of East St. Louis. So congratulations, Catherine. Sent her card in quite some time ago, and they're all still in the bin. If you've been in this contest from the beginning, you're still in the running. 20 degrees at Chicago and Moline, 10 now. These are actual temperatures, not wind chills. 10 degrees in Des Moines on November 20th. And look at these wind chills. 10 below zero at Kirksville, 9 below at Des Moines, 4 below here and in Columbia. Man, that's cold. And it is cold everywhere in our viewing area with temperatures basically in the low to mid-20s. Wind chill factors below zero in most areas. Not quite as breezy at Mount Vernon and Carbondale, but 1 degree the wind chill down at Farmington. And look at these actual temperatures. Drops off into the teens and single digits, and you know it's going to get colder still tonight. So the wind chill up there has to be unbelievable. And almost unbelievable around here, isn't it? The cold weather hangs in there, even though a little surface trough moves through. It's not really a front. It doesn't have a temperature gradient behind it. We'll see some partly sunny skies tomorrow. The snow, lake effect snow, remains in the Great Lakes. They've seen quite a bit of it all the way over to Buffalo and the snow belt in Pennsylvania and Ohio and New York. And you see these temperatures, the cold stuff kind of slides to the east tomorrow. We'll be in the upper 30s, but probably won't get out of the 30s once again. So again, a frosty start at maybe 17 or 18 degrees, maybe even a little cooler in some spots and a couple of degrees warmer in others. 32 by lunchtime, topping off tomorrow in the upper 30s. We'll have some sunshine, a day a lot like today, only it won't be as windy as what we saw today, but still breezy, and the wind chill's still a factor. Wednesday's high, 44. That'll feel balmy. 43 on Thanksgiving under partly sunny skies. Maybe a little cloudy on Friday with a high of 47, and that warming trend continues right on into the weekend. By Saturday, hopefully we'll hit 50 degrees and stay there for a little while. It's been since November 7th since we've had normal temperatures, since our high temperature has been the norm for that day. Our record low tomorrow morning, by the way, is 9 degrees, and that was set in 1880. I don't think we'll eclipse that.
Here, let's don't do that.
Let's hope
no,
not.
I hope not.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be hard to believe your own eyes.
Evidence right here for you. Watch the story behind a rather incredible demonstration today in Japan a little bit later.
I'm Doug Vaughn. Coming up in sports, the Rams have their hands full tonight with the Redskins. We'll have an update.
This portion of News 4 is sponsored by Schnucks.
Tomorrow on News 4 this morning, want to keep your kids out of your hair while you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner? How about decorating the kids' table? We'll have some great tips. If you need a centerpiece, we'll show you a topiary treat designed by America's Flower Man. And Sue Thomas puts another chef to the test for her 60-second breakfast scramble. All that and more right here tomorrow morning on News 4 this morning, starting at 5:30.
Here's Doug.
Got a nail biter tonight at the Dome. Kurt Warner can just now bite the nail on his little finger. He had the pins removed from that broken pinky today. Rams say it'll be another 2 weeks, though, before he can return to action. Trent Green is at the controls tonight in the game against the Washington Redskins. Right now, they are late in the third quarter, and the Rams lead it 20-19. Trent Green has thrown touchdown passes to Marshall Faulk and Ricky Prohl. Jeff George has 2 TD throws for the Redskins. Washington missed one of their extra points, and that's been the difference right now. Rams leading 20-19. Dexter McCleon picked up his 6th interception of the year in the first quarter. Next Sunday, the Rams will host New Orleans at the Dome. The Saints will come to town with a 7-4 record, still holding out hope of catching the Rams in the NFC West, but they'll have to in the third quarter.
All right, thanks, Doug. Coming up, a glimpse into the future.
You're going to want to see this one. We'll be right back. Ken's here with our wake-up forecast.
Just cold. I mean, I don't know how else I can put it. It's just going to be too cold in the morning. The temperatures are going to be in the teens. It looks like the wind chills will be down in the single digits. We'll put the morning low at about 17 degrees, and we'll warm up, if you could say that, into the upper 30s
Oh, that'd
tomorrow.
be great.
Yeah. Heat wave.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ken. As you know, Hollywood has been portraying human-like robots for years.
They call them humanoids, but a demonstration today in Tokyo shows real life is catching up. Look at that. There is no actor at work here. This is Honda's new Asimo humanoid robot. It features the new iWalk technology, which helps the robot walk more like a human. Honda says it hopes to someday build a humanoid partner that can help humans with everyday chores.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Could be a future co-anchor there, you know.
You think so?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.